So, is arbitration and mediation one and the same thing, or are they two different processes? They are different. Just wait to the end to see these differences and the similarities that there are. From the onset, when you think about arbitration and mediation, there are two separate processes that fall under what we call ADR, Alternative Dispute Resolution Mechanisms. They are alternatives to settling our disputes in a court of law. However, starting with arbitration very briefly, arbitration is basically like litigation, but in private. Because in arbitration, you go through the process of proving your dispute, tendering evidence, and eventually the arbitrator makes a judgment, which we call an award. The only difference between arbitration and litigation is that it is actually done in private, and the parties agree on who the arbitrator is going to be, the venue, the place they are going to have the mediation session, the fees involved for paying the arbitrator, and so on and so forth. Basically, it is a process that is done in private. It's more flexible, therefore, and like I said, you can choose the venue, you choose the arbitrator, you choose you agree on a number of things that are flexible, more flexible than you would have in a court of law. But eventually, the arbitrator has to make a judgment on who wins and who loses, and writes what we call an award, which is similar to a court judgment. And then eventually, this award can now be adopted in a court of law for enforcement. So an arbitrator, the person who presides over an arbitration, is like a judge, but in private. On the other hand, mediation is a different process altogether. It is also part of the ADR, the Alternative Dispute Resolution, but in mediation, the parties have control over the process. That the mediator does not write a judgment or an award or make orders. He facilitates that the parties have a dialogue, they are able to negotiate their issues so that eventually they can come up with a mutual solution to their problem. However, parties can agree both in arbitration and in mediation to move from one process to the other. For example, the parties in arbitration can say that should we not want to go on to the full end with an arbitration, we can turn it into a mediation where the parties are given a chance to negotiate their settlement and to discuss their issues. And vice versa. In mediation, you can start with a mediation, and then you agree, the parties can agree that should we not be able to reach a mutual solution to our problem, the mediator can act as an arbitrator, in which case he makes the final decision. So so the two processes are different, with some slight similarity in the sense that they are flexible, they are faster in the settlement of disputes, and so on and so forth. So it's one of those things the courts and in our country, people are being urged to embrace arbitration, to embrace mediation for faster disposal of their cases. I'll be seeing you in my next video. Bye.